So let's take a look at a piece of news that I think you're going to find very interesting, or at least it's going to be good food for argument. The State Duma proposes to let Russians defend their borders themselves. Ooh, so if you think it's a good idea for normies to gather into militias and defend the borders of your country wherever you are, let me know in the comments. But anyways, let's read the details here together. There's not too many of them. The head of the State Duma Defense Committee, Kartapolov, called for allowing Russians to defend their borders themselves. Russians who have voluntarily joined the People's Druzhina can be entrusted with the protection of state borders. Andrei Kartapolov. I think it's Kartapolov, but I could be wrong. Anyways, head of the State Duma Committee made such a proposal. Quote, unfortunately, we do not have the same opportunities now as in the Soviet Union, when the entire country was guarded by the perimeter troops of the border troops of the USSR. So now there are somewhat different ways to protect the borders, the parliamentarian said. So anyways, there's a little bit more after this, but you can find it by going on the my Telegram channel, Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore. It is all right there. There should be a link in the description. But anyways, this is kind of an interesting topic because it's surprising. This is one of those ones where you wonder what's going through the minds of politicians. Like, where did this come from? Because they want to have at least this one person, very high up the ladder, wants Russians to kind of take border security a little bit into their own hands. Okay, cool. To be honest, I generally like, I think it's good for society when people have more power. And if you feel that you live in a country where you can take action, where you can defend your own border, of course, the government in this case might do a better job of it, but you can participate, you can take action. That's probably good for the spirit of the nation, at the very least. But one of the things is, you know, according to this, they didn't really say what in the article, like what sort of steps would be taken, because he mentions a druzhina. What's a druzhina? It's sort of like a, I don't know what you want to call it, a brotherhood or a gang or like a posse. Maybe posse would be a good word. Or some sort of militia group. And in the Soviet Union, you know, sometimes they would have people who'd like at some concert voluntarily put on some little red stripe armband and be like, I'm going to play policeman at this concert if someone gets out of line. So I think that's what he's referring to, but generally the druzhinas that were in the Soviet Union had no power whatsoever, and they certainly didn't have guns. The thing is, if you want Russians to, normal people, to kind of like play border guard, well, this raises a few questions. One, is this like a shoot to kill thing? Is this a shoot to wound thing? Is this a you can't shoot at all thing? Because, you know, border guards in Russia, from what I've seen, they all have guns. So, this is going to have to... First off, there's the whole, like, guns side of thing, and recently we did a whole video about the legality of guns in Russia, so you should check back a couple videos and you'll see that. So you have kind of the gun side of thing. Then we have this, if you can form a people's militia in the context of modern Russia, not the Soviet Union, in the modern Russia. Okay, we're going to let people form militias. Again, in what context? What does this mean? You know, like, we don't have exactly a Second Amendment in the Russian Constitution that mentions these druzhina, posse militias. What is that? How is that going to work? What's their motivations? And then we also get to the other side where it's like, you know, another one would be that the way Russian law is written as it stands now, people can't just cry out like Barney Fife, citizen's arrest. Apparently in the Soviet Union you could, but in modern, well, maybe you could have, but no one did. You know, you can't just, as a normal citizen, go around and be like, I saw something bad, I can arrest you. So, do these people have the power to, say, arrest someone and then send them to be deported? If you become a member of a militia, are you kind of like halfway a policeman? Boy, there's a lot of questions being raised here. And probably one of the most important things, is this something that you can do for money? Because the idea of, say, relying on border patrol, because I'll put it this way, very much in Russia, people have this idea that anyone who does something on a volunteer basis is this holy being, and anyone who does the same thing but for money is evil. And that might be one of the very few minuses of our Orthodox faith, that sort of attitude. But the problem is that, like, you can't really rely on people who do this as like a hobby to do a really good job of it and show up very regularly. See what I mean? There's a reason why there are paid border patrol forces within Russia. So I don't know. This is something where I kind of support the idea of it, but everything around this idea has not been worked out and has not been explained. I tried to find some information on it before making this video, but I think even this Mr. What's his name here that I cannot say, Kartopolov, I think even he might not really know the details of this, so I'm not sure. Perhaps this is some sort of hype thing where he's just trying to get attention for himself, but yeah, but let's just say we resolve this issue. Would it be a good idea to have Russians, I would have to assume armed, normal Russians, who I guess would be part of some sort of militia movement patrolling the borders? Why not? I mean, I don't think it would hurt. It might hurt people who are sneaking across the border, but that's their problem. So I think overall this could be a good thing, but guys, we got to have the details. Anyways, let me know in the comments, would you like to have militias patrolling your borders in your country of origin? I know in America that happens, but in America we got a Second Amendment. So let me know what you think about this, and maybe you've got some news that I haven't heard. Will we have militias defending Russia in the near future or not? Let me know in the comments. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like the opinions coming out of my big fat mouth, then join up on my Telegram channel. That's Tim Kirby Hardcore on Telegram. Link, of course, in the description.